Hi there, time for another battle report. I recently got my hands on a whole bunch of demons to a blowout price, so of course I wanted to try them out for this game. With the new models I now have a lot of options, so I have several builds I would like to try, but for this game I chose a polytheist army with a courtesan at the head. One funny and embarrassing thing that I realized when taking a closer look at the demon book was that a magic item that I suggested a while back when the rules team asked for ideas for the warriors. I suggested a magic item that I now realized already existed, but in the demon book. Well, shame acknowledged, so on to the game. Yuan and his Empire army made up the opposition, and even though there aren't much units that pose a threat on their own in his army, his scoring units vastly outnumber mine, which feels a bit troublesome. We played refused flank and hold the ground. I got to choose to deploy, so I thought I could use the terrain on the top part of the board to weather his shooting a bit. After deploying some units, I decided to go first turn, since he easily could outdrop me anyway. For magic, the courtesan got cleansing fire and wrath of God, which felt really good since wrath of God is able to cause much havoc in the right circumstances. The deploy looked like this, with the courtesan furthest to my left, slaughterers next, then Tallyman with the harbinger, the engine, blood chariot, fiends, horrors, and the hounds in ambush. On his side from the right are his spearmen, halberds, flagellants, swordsmen with the marshals. Behind those are his artillery, the artificer, and handgunners. Then are his militia, crossbows, more flagellants, and the pistoliers. In front of those are both his cavalry units. The plan was to overwhelm his right, while I give up the left as slow as possible, and that's about all to begin with. I start off by moving the fiends around his left. The engine moves up enough to shoot the flagellants, which I view as the biggest threat. On the left, the Tallyman move up, while the slaughterers pop the triple march banner and positions to flank together with the courtesan. For magic, I start by throwing 4 dice at Wrath of God. He fails to dispel it with his 5, so first turn, and I get it in between his artillery, which is awesome. With my remaining 2 dice, I get cleansing off on the courtesan. For shooting, the chariot misfire and rolls a 3. The engine can't make a single wound, while cleansing fire claims the life of 1 spearman. For his turn, he starts by charging the flagellants into the Tallyman. His Sun Griffins also make it into the engine. On his right, he turns to face the courtesan, while on his left he moves the knights and pistoliers up. The flagellants left, he tries to prevent the fiends from getting around to his back. For shooting, he gets 1 horror. The mortar misfires and gets a 4, while the volley gun flunk badly, only getting 4 hits out of 24. On a 4+, and then he can't get by the slaughter's ward save, so that's very fortunate. In combat, my harbinger get into combat with his champ, where his champ die by taking 1 wound, but it gives 2 in return on my harbinger. Then we kill some each, and I lose 1 or 2 from instability. The engine takes a couple of wounds and fail to hit with a crush attack, which might have been a rather stupid choice. I think I had some thoughts that would be hard to get through his armor save, but didn't count on It just was a brain fart, totally. It would have been better to just use the regular hits and try to get some wounds in, I think. In my turn, the courtesan charged his halberds to flee, so I redirect into the spearman. The slaughterers flanked the flagellants, while the chariot charged the pistoliers, who stand shoot and get one wound in. The hounds come on the board, and with Wrath of God ticking away, I don't dare to put them among the artillery. Instead, I place them to shore up my right. Fiends sneak past the flagellants. For magic, I get cleansing off on the courtesan, and Hand of Heaven kills some militia, I think. To top it off, the god strikes, killing both war machines, the artificer, and a whole bunch of models from the other units within range. No shooting, so into combat. The courtesan killed the champ in a challenge, but saved the breath for the next turn. The spearman sticks on steadfast. Engine and griffins have a pillow fight, while the blood chariot runs over the pistoliers. Slaughterers lose the champ, but there are not many flagellants left at this point. He decides to charge his knights into the flank of my cannon. He also charged the militia into its front, which I was rather happy about, seeing it as free combat dress. Other than that, he just rallies and turns some stuff around. For magic, he might have got Sanna's blessing off, killing some if it wasn't the turn before. His shooting put one wound on a hound. For combat, the courtesan kill about 10 swordsmen, but they stick. All the flagellants die and the prelate is run down. Engine and griffin still can't do anything, and I still stupidly cling to the rush attack option. The cannon crew, on the other hand, kill a knight. The militia get a wound in before losing 3 to the pulling beast, which means that I win. The knights break, but the militia stick. My turn, and first off I charge his fleeing knights with the hounds. He loses 2 knights fleeing over the wall. My fiends now have the option of pushing the last 2 through the combat and for some DTs, or they can go into his crossbows. In hindsight, I think I make the wrong choice, going for the chance of finishing off his knights with DTs, since that also is a death by flagellant sentence for the fiends, when I could have played conservative and just taken out the crossbows and be much safer. First off, I was really concerned about him rallying the last knights to claim the objective in the later turns, and I also started to feel that things were going my way, which unfortunately might have made me more careless in my decision making. Lucky for me, the knights die anyway. On the left, the slaughterers help out the courtesan, and the pestilent gang sacrifice themselves to hold up his other infantry for a turn, which might have been overkill, since the smart thing would have been to just hang back, since there is virtually no risk of the slaughterers giving the rear to him as soon as the combat is done. In this magic phase, I get another Wrath of God through, close to where I expect his flagellants blow through the fiends next turn. They cannot break the militia, but can't catch them. The griffins get the last wound in on the engine, and to correct myself, they did a bunch of wounds already last combat round, so it was just the last one this turn. I kill some infantry, but lose the Harbinger. His remaining spearmen run off the board, and I reform. The griffins then try a long charge on the horrors, but fail, while the flagellants go into the rear of the fiends. The militia rally, and his shooting puts 2 wounds on the blood chariot. No wrath comes from the almighty ones, so in combat he destroys the last talisman and completely run over the fiends. In my turn, the courtesan first off charge his handgunners who fail their terror. I redirect into his swordsmen and are joined by the slaughterers. In the middle I try the hounds against the griffins and they make it in. The cannon charge a unit of militia. Magic didn't do anything important and still no Wrath of God. For combat these griffins win, but I brought one down. The cannon destroys the militia with impacts, panicking the other militia unit. On the left, 2 or 3 halberds manage to survive and hold while the rest are destroyed on a pursuit roll of 3 from the courtesan. Why do more than you have to, right? His turn 4 and his handgunners continue to flee. The militia rally and he moves the flagellants to threaten anything that goes towards the center. His crossbows takes the last wound from the blood chariot, which just proves I was really stupid with the fiends who could have killed those handgunners or crossbows long ago, and then they would have been alive too. Combat and dogs and griffins still are relatively even. Mine lost a little though. In my turn the courtesan charge in to finish off the last knights, and I just make sure I can reach the middle with both my scoring units, and I don't care much if he can take one of them since he can't take both anyway, and the flagellants aren't scoring. So in the magic phase God's Wrath comes down, killing a few flagellants and more of the crossbows who panic. In combat the courtesan flunk rather badly but still break and run down the sun griffins. I think he tries a charge on the slaughterers with the flagellants but fail. His shooter units rally and the militia positions for a last flank. Last turn for me, and I know I have won, and since we continue playing I thought I might just make it a bit fun, so I move my units in on the middle, giving him some easy charges on the slaughterers if he would want. For magic I first cast Cleansing Fire on the horror champ. Still being a bit careful, I only use 4 dice to cast Wrath of God right between all of our units, and I get it through. My courtesan and horror champ then shoots, killing some flagellants. In true flagellant fashion he charged them into the slaughterers and also flank with the militia. He gets some prelate buff off, and for the 3rd time this game the God's Wrath hits the table. First ones to feel it are the militia, who die to a man. It must have been the God of Wrath I called upon, since this was the ward save roll for the slaughterers after being struck by 7 wounds. The flagellant goes down to 2 men, horrors die 1 or 2, and the courtesan is unscathed. In combat he killed 1 slaughterer and die then after that, so that's it, and I'm happy I pulled through with such a climactic ending. It was a rather big win, and with the dice favoring me a bit, it was hard for him to get back in the game. For me it was the first time since 1.2 a spell has been the game winner, when Wrath of God destroyed all his artillery already at top of turn 2. That doesn't necessarily mean the spell is too good, but you definitely need to have that spell in mind when you deploy, especially with such a shooting reliant army as the Empire. The thoughts that I expressed in my last report, where I was a bit worried about my casual gaming, are my worry there are strengthened for this game, and that is that when I play casual I don't play that conservative as I should to play well. In most cases that makes for a more fun experience for both of us, since after all it was intended as a casual game, but it does make me worry a bit. When it comes to competition I go by the belief that you play as you practice, and since between tournaments I mostly have casual games, I start to worry that my practice might actually have a negative effect on my competitive play. At least it will be really crucial that I manage to change mindset really quick, so I don't use the first game of every tournament to realize that I need to step things up. Last time I had a free game tournament to get warmed up, but that won't be the case in so many more tournaments. May is closing in, and late that month I plan to attend this year's Lincoln, so it's soon time to get ready for that. So I will try to share my thoughts and planning with you. So see you soon.